Okay, I can only follow the qualifiers that I gave. I am not playing in your money pool. I am a working man. I choose not to be married. I have a child. I made a commitment to a woman, ride with me. She says, I'm going to ride with you. I don't need a piece of paper to validate my relationship and I love for my woman and my child. I go out there and show my efforts by the fruit I bear every day. Every time I lace up my boots and I come home with the groceries, make sure I keep a roof over the head. I do not need to abide by your tenets to say that I am not living a good life, a solid life, a virtuous life by that woman because I'm
Right,
not following your ideals. I am not bashing marriage. I am
right.
bashing the
I'm not mad
contract.
at that. I'm not mad at that. But what I'm asking
Exactly.
you is, I get what you're saying. You as a man, you're going to abide by the contractual obligation of your moral compass. You said, I understand what my job is when I'm with this woman and what I'm obligated to do for her. What about if Viz says, hey, I'm not doing none of that shit. And I know I got her pregnant. I know she's supposed to be here with me, but I know I started this thing with her and I want to walk away from her. What about him?
If he follows the same steps as I do, working man goes out there 9 to 5 and he chooses not to honor that contract with that woman, you do not need to be married for the government to work on her behalf. It,
Well, no, you
What?
leaving out the part where he just said that the man is not going to take care of his kid. He
He's
said
not
he's going
you
to say
right.
okay,
You said you
so
don't need a piece of paper, so we're gonna
you
take
just
the
skipped
paper
over
out
that
of it.
whole part of this man that had a responsibility, not
hey yo, Cloud,
kid
I swore I said if
responsibility.
he's following my blueprint, the government will come and get him. She'll go down to the courthouse with my information and put me on child support, which will benefit her and the child.
So
And coming on how
basically,
much I make, it will be more of a benefit to her.
Well, that would
and at
happen
that point, you're being
regardless
held
of
to the
where.
same standards as a marriage.
Okay, so you well, you just said, okay, what holds a man accountable who does not have a paper? And now you just said you're
That
being
no,
held to the same
so
standards.
no,
So thank
no,
you,
I'm answering.
thank
Hold
you
on, wait.
for agreeing with
I'm
me.
answering. No, I'm answering within the world that you created. The world you created is a world where there is no need for paper. You don't need a piece of paper to tell a man what they're supposed to do. So if that does not exist, then how do you hold a man? So if a man that doesn't want to do any of those things, how do we hold him accountable?
You just said at in
So we would
closing,
Right. So we would basically
you
create
okay,
pieces of
I
paper that
guess
will
I guess you
obligate
must have
him
heard
to
something
his
I was about
obligation.
to reply. Okay, so all right, so
Yeah, basically we would
No,
create
okay,
you.
pieces
I,
that,
I
so
that'll
I
hold him
wouldn't
finish
to
agree
his
with
let
that.
me
I
finish
could
obligation.
my
say
sentence.
I could say you could hold him accountable through shame. He'd be held accountable by the woman losing respect for him and thus making him have a difficult time seeing his child, making him have a difficult time in his household. There's a lot of way a man can be held accountable
Financial.
just simply by his woman. So no, you don't need a government contract to hold you accountable. If you're not doing right by your woman and she leaves you, that's you being held accountable. If you're not
Yeah,
doing right by your
but
woman and she
clout.
takes the kids and leaves, that's you being held accountable.
Yeah, but clout.
It's the same way you would be held accountable if she divorced you for cheating. It's the same
But what
exact
if
way.
you don't
But no,
care?
cloud is different though, because just how you were talking about
Dignity.
a person with dignity, your dignity is within, is was inward. So if you don't give
Right.
a fuck about you walking away from your family, then that shame is nothing. That it's irrelevant because it's not going to have any impact on you.
Okay,
Yeah, but
so
the problem is that scumbags are going to exist whether they get married or not. There's always going to be a
All right,
scumbag
fellas.
somewhere. There's always going to be a scumbag somewhere. There's always going to be some scumbag who doesn't take
Of
care of
course.
his responsibilities.
married
Whether
or
you try to
unmarried.
hold them, there are men on child support that literally will quit their job to not pay child support. So it's not like child support is holding them accountable. All I'm saying is like if he's not going to be accountable, he's not going to be accountable regardless. But we're not talking about low quality men that are just here to make children and not take care of their children. We're talking about decent human beings here. Any decent man who's willing to be in his child's life can have a healthy relationship with a woman and his child without getting married. That's all I'm saying. If he has proper intentions to do right by the woman, he doesn't have to be married to her to do right by her. Now,
Yeah, no,
if they want to get married, though, I'm not saying don't. It's not like I'm saying, yo, you want to get married and your woman want to get married, don't do it. I'm not saying that. I was literally just trying to explain why so many people don't want to do it. But if you want to do it and you and your woman are happy to dwell together and happy to sign that contract, more power to you. Sign the contract and live life and love each other to the day you die. But I'm just saying that that contract is not a protection any more than your word is a protection. You could end a marriage the same way you could end a relationship.
Well, so
I could abandon, I could abandon
the,
my wife. I can abandon my wife the same way I could abandon my kids, but that's just not the type of guy I am. And I wouldn't advocate for any man to do that.
well, so I think that I understand the whole aspect with this piece of paper, because I felt like that as well at one point. However, I think that that piece of paper is additional weight and conviction for both parties to carry if they choose to divorce. So I understand what it is. I understand the angle that you guys are approaching it with, but that piece of paper, it should mean something, but it shouldn't mean something, right? Because it's what's true is the two people. Why sign it is because it's a commitment. It's that given commitment.
Why is your word not good enough?
Not
why
only
is your word as a man not good enough?
Because it's a contract.
Why is your word? Why is the verbal contract not good enough?
The same reason why people back in the day used to make blood contracts. The same reason why in gang culture, in order for you to get in, you got to get beat in. So
that's a verbal contract.
It's not a verbal contract. If you got beat in,
it's a verbal contract that was collateralized with pain. It's a verbal contract.
Right. It's a blood contract, but you gave something. That's my
what
point.
I'm saying is you don't need a paper contract to give something. I can easily move a woman into my house, take care of her bills, take care of the children, and we don't have to be married to do that. She's completely covered and protected by me taking care of her. So that's the only thing I'm trying to get y'all to understand. I'm trying to get y'all to separate this idea that marriage and a healthy relationship are mutually exclusive. They're not. You can have a healthy relationship over here, and you can have a marriage that's not healthy. Y'all keep conflating it like, oh, well, you got to get married or else it's not healthy. That's just not true.
That's not what I said. So you can't say
my bad. Maybe my bad. That's what a lot of people have been saying. I'm not going to put that on you.
Now again, I get that part. However, again, with it being a contract in writing, for as long as we have been writing, we've been making agreements on paper in writing, because now it's official. Once you get that seal, that stamp, it's now official. You're abiding by this contract. You have no choice, or there's going to be repercussions. When there's no written contract, when this is not in place, then it's a free for all. Then it could easily.
That's actually not true, though, Viz. That's not true.
That is true.